Now we're going to talk about iterables and what makes something an iterable. So we're going to see what iterable is, and we're going to see tons of examples. Let's dive right in. Let's have a look at what it means to be an iterable. So here I have a list. I also have a tuple. A tuple is the exact same thing as a list, except it uses curly brackets, and it is immutable, meaning I cannot append elements to a tuple, but they work the same way as a list. And I also have a string right here. So let's print out some information about each of these. So if I print out the list, I can see it has a bunch of properties, and one of them specifically is called iter. And this means it's an iterable. So let's do a quick check. If iter is in this, then true. Let's check it for our other two objects just to make sure they are iterable as well. And my string, and true. Yes, they all contain the iter property. Now what does that mean? That means we can iterate over them in some respect. So when I have a for loop, say for an element in my list, I just print the element. Since it has that iter property, it means we are able to grab an element and then use it within the for loop. Now let's have a look at this in slightly more detail to see what it's actually doing beneath the covers. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an iterator for our list. So I'm going to say list iterator, and if you use the built-in function iter and you give it the list, this creates an iterator for a list object. This means that our list iterator will be able to grab the next element in the list. Let's have a look at this. So if I have a while true loop, if I want to get the next element, all I have to do is say next element equal to next, which is also a built-in function of list iterator. And then I can print next element, and that is essentially what the for loop is doing underneath the covers. It's creating an iterator out of the list, and then it's getting the next element each time. However, this is an infinite loop, but it's going to crash. So let me just run it. So it got the first 5 elements, and then it raised an error called stop iteration, meaning the iterator has ran out of elements. It started at 1 and proceeded to 5. Once it got to 5, it didn't know what to do because there are no more elements, so it crashed. So a way to avoid this is to catch the error. So the way we can do this is using another keyword called try. So try lets you try things and also catch errors. So try, make sure you indent that block, and we're going to catch the exception, which is stop iteration. And on stop iteration, we're going to break out of our while true loop, and let's print out our element. And now everything goes smoothly. So this is pretty much what the for loop is doing underneath the covers. It's creating an iterator, it's getting the next element in the iterator, it's doing whatever we wanted with the element, which in this case is just printing it, and once we get that stop iteration exception, it just stops or breaks out. In this video we talked about what an iterable is and how to use one. In the next video we're going to talk about how to add conditionals to our loops. I'll see you then.